Delhi's newest education minister, Manish Sisodia, in what many could say is a first sign of political amateurishness, has promised to revamp the ailing education system in the capital, from primary schools to higher education. And part of that is including a 90% reservation for Delhi residents in colleges funded by the state government. His logic is if Delhiites are funding these colleges, they should get reservation based on merit, he's quick to add. But this attempt of his to fix higher education in a sense has come under sharp criticism, not just with many comparing him to Raj Thackeray, but many others saying this is taking populism a bit too far. The criticism, in fact, has been so sharp that the usually interactive Aam Aadmi Party has not found a single representative to send on our show today. But of course, this is good news for thousands of Delhiites who say they get shortchanged by the outstation students who come in hordes every year. So that's what we ask on the social network today. Delhi University for Delhiites, ghetto or gain? You can tweet us live on our Twitter handle at TSN on NDTV and ask our panelists questions that you feel that you may want answered. Before we introduce our panelists, let's quickly listen in to what Meeta Sen-Gupta has sent us.
Having just heard about the 90% reservation on college admissions, I'm a little bit concerned about it. Delhi is losing out on a long tradition of being the center of education, of being a meritocracy, where any student who wants to come can share learning. And in the process of learning, we know that sharing and mobility is very important to better learning. Just for 12,000 seats, where the need is 1.75 lakhs, I think this is giving up too much for very little gain.
So giving up too much for very little gain. Let's ask what our panelists make of this. We're joined in the studio by Nandita Narayan, who is president of the Delhi University Teachers Association, and also Mr. M.M. Ansari, who's a member of the University Grants Commission. Nandita, too much, giving up too much for too little gain. What do you make of that?
I don't even think that they're going to gain anything at all. One is they're not going to be able to do it because we're a central university. We are governed by an act of parliament. And 28 colleges do have governing bodies which are constituted largely by the Delhi government, and they have partial or full funding.
But the regulations, the ordinances to which they are party, say that all such matters are decided by the academic council. So the Delhi government has no locus standi in deciding anything about the quantum of seats to be reserved or not to be reserved in the colleges which are funded by them. They do not have a say in that. But apart from that, I completely agree with Meeta that, of course, we're a central university. Central universities are few and far between. And, we are open to students from small towns, villages. Anybody can compete on merit and make it here. We do not want to lose that diverse national character, which makes us what we are, which gives us that kind of standard of education. I do agree that if we are going to think of education in a ghettoized manner, we are doing a great disservice even to Delhi students.
In fact, Mr. Ansari, it's interesting because a lot of students, let's face it, Delhi University is one of the premier universities in India. Every single child in every part of the country, if they dream of going to a good college, making it somewhere in their lives or getting a good job, a degree from Delhi University is something which is really top of their list when they're in school. Do you think that for Delhiites to feel that they get shortchanged sometimes by these, by this influx of students from across the country, do you think that's unfair?
Well, I don't think there is any assessment of the fact that the Delhiites are being displaced because there is the influx of students from outside the state. So there is absolutely no idea, but of course it is good that the AAP party has reflected on education, whether it is access or the quality. That is a good aspect of it. But to say that the government will be able to make reservation to the extent of 90% of seats, that seems to be quite impractical, impossible for both legal as well as the reasons of practicality. Let me say, Delhi has been housing two sets of institutions. One is the central institutions where Delhi government would hardly be able to leave any impact. The institutions like Delhi University, colleges like St. Josephine, Hindu, Hansraj, etc., they are all governed by the different laws and statutes. Then there are other institutions which are controlled by Delhi government, like Ambedkar University, IP University, and it is these colleges where they can have an impact, because it is they who.
But those are largely privatized, aren't they?
But large number of colleges, say around 111, 12 colleges of IP University which are affiliated, only about 10, 12 are funded by.
And the rest of them are private. The rest of them are privatized, in which.
Now the private institutions cannot expect to have students.
Absolutely, and you can't. You certainly can't be dictating how a private college should be run.
All
right, but I mean, of course, Nandita points out a very important, significant aspect that this would actually end up doing a huge disservice to Delhi students. But perhaps some of the Delhi students don't quite agree. Let's listen to what Yashika has sent us.
It's a good move. If this happens, it will be really beneficial for the Delhi students, as it is a lot of outstation students come and take away all the seats. So either there should be a common criteria, like an entrance test for everybody to enter the university, if it's going to be open to everybody, or if because अभी entry criteria सबके लिए common नहीं है, तो quota मेरे ख्याल से एक necessity बन गई है, और अगर कुछ colleges में होगा तो काफ़ी बच्चों का इससे फायदा होगा.
To me, reservation in any way is not good, because many people have aspirations and hope to study in Delhi University, and the fact being that 90% of the quota will be for Delhiites, then it's bad for us who are coming from outside in order to study in such a prestigious university, right? It's very bad in that sense. Even we need an opportunity. First of all, we are having reservation in many senses, whether it's a caste system, religion, and etc. And now on this basis also we have reservation. It's not good.
So opportunity there, and of course Yashika saying that they want, but Nandita, I just want to bring this to you. Education. I was just talking to a colleague earlier who said that her daughter, she was very happy that she sent her daughter to a college in Bangalore, because she got a chance not just to study in a different city, but also to engage with a very different environment. Education is so much more than just studying good books and getting study taught by good professors.
Exactly. There should be mobility across the country in such matters, and we should not have a sons of the soil kind of theory like, the Raj Thakrae's group had, and he was criticized for that. So I was very surprised to hear this from the Aam Aadmi Party, which I thought would have a pan-India vision and not a parochial vision. One, I want to also answer Kashish, the argument about funding. You see, if you're funding some colleges of Delhi University, you're contributing to a central university situated in Delhi, which is therefore primarily there is a great access of people in Delhi to the Delhi University, and so there is a stake that Delhiites have in the maintenance of standards of Delhi University, number one. Number two, that money that they're giving to the colleges, 12 colleges are 100% funded, and there are another 16 colleges which are partially funded. In all these 28 colleges, they have a major role in governance. Out of 15 members, they choose 10. I think there are 14 or 15 members. They choose 10 members, so they can make a huge difference to the quality of governance of these institutions, which is at this point of time there's a huge problem.
So you're saying as an education minister, if you wanted to really sort of clean up and kickstart and make the education system better, that would have been a better way of approaching that.
And we would have liked that they should have, I mean, we are fed up with the arrogance of the central government and the Congress party and so on.
So they could set an example in that sense.
Being destroyed systematically. And you see, even the earlier chief minister had said that she wants to do this. I mean, Aam Aadmi Party is not the first. The BJP said it, the Congress said it, the teachers of all groups in the university are unanimous that it is absolutely unacceptable. It is unheard of. It is not, we're not going to accept it. But even if it was legally possible, it is not something academically desirable. The Aam Aadmi Party should, before making an announcement like this, have consulted the stakeholders, have consulted all the teachers of Delhi University as well, because we have teachers teaching in these colleges. Their service conditions are governed by those of a central university. We do not want to lead to a situation which really the central government has been trying to do, that we feel that it wants to balkanize Delhi University and separate it into different parts and then sell it off under PPP to the highest bidders. That is clearly laid down in the National Knowledge Commission, education, and we felt that even the central government may have been party to separation of 28 colleges from Delhi University. We will not let that happen. We don't want Aam Aadmi Party to continue in the footsteps and make all the mistakes that were made earlier.
In a sense, there was a bit of a hope, right? Because I mean, this is
there's
essentially,
a lot of hope.
There was a lot of hope with that. But you know, what's also interesting, Mr. Ansari, and you know, this is slightly combining education with politics in a sense. But what's also interesting is the fact that, you know, what we're also looking at in the wake of them coming to power is the fact that there are many people across the country in different political senses who are taking on from a lot of the policies that Aam Aadmi Party is introducing. You know, and this could well end up being maybe the next thing could be another state that could say that let's sort of keep a reservation for students of that particular state, and you could end up having people who are just not mobilizing them, students who are not mobilizing themselves across the country at all.
Well, I entirely agree with you, because the large number of the voters are now the youth, and the AAP is trying to reach them by way of giving some kind of populist measures like reservation of seats. But I may also mention that the most of our colleges and universities are highly localized in terms of enrollment of students, in terms of appointment of Karamchari and the staff, and this kind of move by Delhi government and elsewhere, you know, the other regions may also do it. They will further localize it, and then we will be losing the charm of having the national integration throughout mobility of students and the teachers. So those impacts could also be examined and has to be studied. But for the time being, as you rightly said in the beginning, that there is some connection between education and the politics, and I think this is a good politics to reach out to the youth. You know, among them we have the large number of...
but not such good education. Let's also quickly now listen into a couple of other video blogs that we've got.
Say whether the quota should be there in Delhi University. I believe that it should be there because it will benefit the people who are domiciling, who actually stay in Delhi, because if they have to travel outside Delhi, they have to suffer various like look for the hostel, etc. So and also manage on their own, and actually it has been seen that it actually affects the studies also. And if you're a resident and you're staying at home, you can study much better and give a point to your education. Like you can achieve your goals, etc.
और दिल्ली सरकार का जो अभी 90% आरक्षण का जो वायदा आया है, हमें समझना पड़ेगा कि दिल्ली सरकार जिन कॉलेजेस में आरक्षण की बात कर रही है, क्या वो दिल्ली सरकार के द्वारा फंडेड है या उसमें केंद्र सरकार का भी पैसा आता है। दिल्ली सरकार का बहुत छोटा हिस्सा आता है और बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा जो आता है वो अदर स्टेट से आता है, केंद्र सरकार देती है, यानी कि आम जनता का पैसा आता है। और उसमें भी क्या वो जो बच्चा पढ़ेगा, कौन बच्चा पढ़ेगा, कौन सा तबके का बच्चा पढ़ेगा, क्या वो उच्च वर्ग का होगा जो प्राइवेट स्कूल से पढ़ा होगा, वो 90% आरक्षण का फायदा उठाएगा, या वो सफाई कर्मचारी का या छोटा मजदूर का किसान का बच्चा उसको उस कॉलेज में पढ़ पाएगा।
You know, Nandita, one of the things that Manish Sisodia has in fact been quoted as saying is that each year more than 2.65 lakh students pass out from schools in Delhi, but only 90,000 get admission in Delhi colleges. And basically what I want to do is create a roadmap for the remaining 1.7 lakh students, 1.75 lakh students.
No, that's excellent. But then the roadmap should not be created by taking away somebody else's right. I mean, by poaching on what is already there, that roadmap cannot be created. We need a massive expansion. You know, already we have not had an expansion for many, many years because of the policy of the central government that they do not want to invest in higher education anymore. They must be forced to invest at least 6% of the GDP in higher education, and the Delhi government must show the way. So they must expand. But before they run into expanding, I think they should first consolidate what they have, the IP University, Ambedkar University. There are huge problems in these universities. They must settle the governance questions, the academic questions in these universities, and then they should start expanding. They need to just spend some time getting their whereabouts, understanding the problems without rushing into something new.
And that's a criticism, Mr. Ansari, that's come at them time and time again in the last few days as well. And as you probably said, this is good politics but bad education. So 1.75 lakh students is what Manish Sisodia is batting for right now. But as Nandita is pointing out, he's ending up doing a huge disservice to not just them, but of course students across the country as well, no?
Well, but it will be a good policy to accommodate 1.7 lakhs students by way of one, strengthening the existing institutions, are also establishing the new ones. You know, large number of institutions are coming and have come under the private sector, and they are having all kind of exploitative tendencies.
Yeah.
So the government is all empowered to establish new institutions and establish the further institution, and at the same time it is also required to improve the governance of the existing institutions, as Nandita has pointed out. By improving the governance, it is possible to accommodate most of the students.
Yeah.
But we should know really where
that governance needs to come in.
Nandita,
quick
they are
last
going
point.
elsewhere for the research.
Yeah, quick last point.
They could do a great service to the students of Delhi as well by improving things in Delhi University. Delhi University is crumbling, and that's because of the central government policies. This 4-year program has been an absolute disaster. And Delhi students have been targeted because of this, particularly.
In fact, it's interesting because I remember one of the MLAs that we had met recently from the Aam Aadmi Party, who's just recently been elected, had in fact spoken fiercely against the FIUP. But Nandita, Mr. Ansari, would have to leave it here, but I'm going to end it on what Mr. Ansari said, that this is good politics, but now that the Aam Aadmi Party is in power, perhaps what they need to do is good governance, and that's not necessarily going to come from populist announcements like a 90% reservation for Delhiites. With that, we slip into a short break. Lots more on the other side. Come back.